Hello, this is Betzalel Edwards from Jerusalem. I am sitting in my living room, and I want to offer you the teachings of Chassidut, one of the interesting movements of the Torah. This is the teachings of Rabbi Mordechai Yosef of Isbitz, who lived 150 years ago, from his commentary on the Bible called the HaShiloach, which I have taken a great interest in the past few years. So he teaches about the temple in Jerusalem. Now, currently we don't have the temple. There happens to be a temporary mosque built on the site of the temple. However, all of the prophecies point towards the truth that there will be a third temple. You could look at the book of Ezekiel, chapter 43, I believe, and you'll find a detailed prophecy which scares the Arabs to smithereens. However, anybody who with consciousness knows that when we get it together as a Jewish people, then it's good for the whole world, and there will be world peace. And that includes a third and eternal temple. So, but we did have two temples before, the first temple and the second temple, totaling a 830-year run, pretty good run for it. However, the Jews could not get it together to follow the Torah in a sufficient way and treat their fellow man in a kind enough way, so God saw fit to remove those temples. But that was actually a great act of mercy on the part of God, because he said, I could either kill you as a people, or I could destroy my own house. Better destroying sticks and stones than harming my beloved people, my firstborn Israel. And we're still here today. And when we get it together as a people, or when God decrees that the time has come, we will have a third temple, and there will be peace on earth and goodwill towards men. So, not that there isn't now a little bit, but there'll be a lot more. So the HaShiloach, the chassidic Rabbi, Mordechai Yosef of Isbitz, may the memory of a tzaddik be for a blessing, says the following about the laver, the copper vessel in the temple that was filled with a lot of water. And it had spigots on it where the priests would wash their hands before doing the holy service in the temple. So he says that he teaches the inner meaning of these details, these architectural details. The inner meaning is removing affliction, because washing teaches about this. When a person's dirty, he's got to take a bath or a shower. Now, there's also an inside washing. A person needs to wash their insides. The HaShiloach compares this act of washing in the Torah to other acts of washing in the Torah. The famous Egla Arufa, the decapitated calf. The police all of a sudden find a body of a John Doe somewhere outside the city limits. And the judges, the Sanhedrin of ancient times, do not know who did this murder or even who this murdered person is. So they have a ritual to atone for such a gross lack of responsibility on the part of the community to take care of the vagrant, or a lack of expertise among the judges to be able to solve the murder. So this is called the Egla Arufa, the decapitated calf. They take a heifer and a calf and they lob its head off, and they would have a solemn ceremony over a stream of living waters. They would wash their hands and they'd say, "Our hands didn't shed this blood, but even though. So what are they doing? They're removing afflictions, as if to say that they had some sort of taintedness about them, some sort of something ruined inside of them, something not correct inside of them that they want to wash away. They're washing away the dirt in their souls. And saying, thank God He gives us a way to take it away. Thank God God gives everyone a way to take away this inside soul dirt and become clean, and then move forward. Put a smile on your face and become a member of the human race. So, removing the affliction. What's the greatest affliction? The HaShiloach says, he hints, he doesn't say specifically, but he says that it's nullifying one's mind against, when one doesn't nullify themselves. In other words, nullifying is a funny word. When a person is filled with himself and his own desires. But when a person manages to negate his own desires in the face of in front of the desires of God as expressed in the Torah, he says that is the removal of affliction. Meaning, he's praying, the washing hands is as if to say, I only want what you want, God, because you know better than me. I don't know so much. I just know what I know, but you know much better because you're infinite and I'm finite. And you're the source of wisdom, and my wisdom can't be compared to your wisdom. Your wisdom is beyond. And all the wisdom that I have is only from you. So all I want to do is what you want. So the HaShiloach continues and says that we're also commanded to wash our hands several times in certain circumstances, like before eating bread, or upon waking up in the morning, one has to do ritual hand washing. And it's not just a ritual. The Chassidus teaches that it's a choreography expressing a deeper truth and a deeper inner meaning. So whereby we can connect to things beyond, and we can correct things in a way that we don't necessarily understand with our logic and our intellect. So it's a kind of prayer before taking care of the needs of the body. So I wake up in the morning and I have to take care of bodily needs. A person has to wash, and a person has to use the facilities, and a person has to eat, and a person has to take care of things in this world. It's something about being human. And the thing is, the body can get people in certain trouble. So he says, please don't let my body and my desires get me in trouble. Don't let me do anything against God's desires. I want to be one with God's desires. I want to be one with the real desires of God. And that's not so simple. It's not just, it's very easy to just, I was reading about the certain fire in Saudi Arabia of a girls' school. And one of the big clerics or the government ministers, I'm not sure who, came, you could look it up in the article in the New Yorker for the details. He came to the site of the fire and he gave a very nice speech saying it was God's will. Now, he's right. It is God's will. But on the other hand, you don't just fob every problem off and say it's God's will. I mean, we have to take certain responsibilities in the world. But the thing is, they can both exist simultaneously. I can have free choice, and it can be God's will, which we'll discuss another time. So that's what the hand washing is about. Is I'm praying that I can allow myself to be led by God. What the HaShiloach is saying, and with this we'll finish, is that I'm going to add in the Shari Ora, one of the great Kabbalists, Rabbi Zhikatilla, many hundreds of years ago. He wrote the following. He said, don't make God's will a garment for your own personal desires. Make your own desires a garment for God's infinite and holy desires. So the HaShiloach compares the hand washing and the preempting any kind of problems that may come, which is the reason why we wash our hands. That we're kind of praying that the Rabbanu Shalom to help me to remove the dirt, to remove the impediments and the obstacles that are to come. That's real cleaning. And he says that a person can make a condition that he won't receive an inheritance from another place. A person's supposed to receive an inheritance, maybe not directly from his parents, and somebody added him in his will. A person could make a condition that he wouldn't receive such an inheritance, but because let's say that inheritance was a bad thing. So that's what the hand washing is. It's like making a condition that I'm not going to receive some sort of a negative gift, and I'm only going to be drawn after what God wants me to do and the way He expresses it in His Holy Torah. Thank you very much, and have a great day.